In this month's video, we're going camping at Daingerfield State Park in East Texas. From Houston, we drove for just under 5 hours and 270 miles before reaching the park. Unfortunately, by the time we made it to camp, it was already getting late and we had to set up and cook dinner in the dark. On this trip, we're going to do some hiking, try out geocaching for the first time, and take a quick visit to the nearby city of Daingerfield. Be sure to keep watching until the end of the video to learn about some pretty interesting local history of the area. We'll see you in the morning.
Set it off here or something. Definitely smell that out. Yeah, I think it's probably time.
After we ate breakfast, which was really good by the way, we cleaned up, got our day packs on, and went out to hike the trails around the park. Basically, there's a shorter trail that leads you through a fairly hilly and wooded area, and then there's a longer trail that follows the perimeter of the lake and goes through some of the campgrounds. After coming down the hill, we came to the first geocache site. We haven't tried geocaching before, but growing up I knew some people who've done this as a hobby, but I haven't personally participated. Basically, geocaching is a hobby where a person will place a small container of some kind somewhere hidden anywhere in the world. Then they'll log the GPS coordinates of the location of the container for other people to find it. Once you find a container, there's usually a log inside where you can write down your name and when you found the geocache. If the container is large enough, you can leave a small token behind for others to find. Before coming to Daingerfield, we got online to see if there were any geocaches in the area for us to find. As you can see, there are 6 geocaches in Daingerfield State Park. These green ones are the classic geocaches, and apparently there is a lot of different kinds of caches these days. This one right here with the question mark is a special kind of geocache that you can unlock if you upgrade to a premium account. But for now, we're just going to stick with finding the classic ones. So the first geocache we came to was called Rocky Point. Sometimes, the person who leaves a geocache will also leave a hint to help you find the container. For Rocky Point, the hint that was left was this: "Stay steady when descending to the creek. I stand out from the rest and point towards the creek," hence the name of the cache. So naturally, we headed down this incline where we saw running water. We probably spent a good 45 minutes looking for any rock that was pointing or could be considered pointing towards the creek. We did not have much luck down in the ravine. I made Chris reread the hint to us probably 20 times. We were just about to give up and were pretty disappointed that our first attempt was going to be a failure when Lindsay and I heard Chris yelling to us from the top of the trail where we had started.
Stay steady when descending to the creek. I stand out from the rest and point towards the creek, hence the name of the cache. Rocky Point.
A marble. I don't have
Standard rules. This thing goes all the way out to 2017. It's supposed to. 9/17/19. 9/1/19.
Oh well. Let's put it back up. only one thing. We don't do use two.
No. But I am gonna have to kind of work with it to show.
Probably a little more.
Yeah, I just. I don't know if you want to put it on.
There you go. Okay.
Okay.
Just a little bit of that. Not on this one.
Yeah.
Need some more.
Down. This doesn't pull us up. It's over by. Nope. Okay,
Nope.
put it back on. Chris, I actually think I can tell it's getting a little bit browner.
Yeah, I can see. Another 8 minutes?
And this is probably thick.
It's cooking slow.
You know what? Hold right there. And I'll be able to kind of tell. Oh, it's actually, look, that's brown. Chris, come here. So I can get a second opinion.
Well, if we took it out and let it sit
And we
for
can
a
just
while,
let it sit. Look, Chris.
get your light
You
on
think
there.
that's probably good?
Yeah, you can give it a try.
Yeah.
It looks good to me. Actually.
Yeah. So we'll just,
You want it in there for another?
we'll just to be safe 5 minutes or something?
Sure.
Okay.
So what's it been so far? This is gonna be 35 minutes at the total? It's right here.
Want to come bring it over by us?
Yeah.
Well, maybe off over here because it's gonna be super rough. And then if we can, I guess in a few minutes, take it out of that thing.
Yeah. After we packed up camp and made some coffee on Sunday morning, we were on our way to go take a quick visit to the city of Daingerfield before returning home. But before we left the park, we had one more geocache to find and wanted to stop to read a historical marker that was across the highway from the entrance to the park. Did you find it?
I was like, the last time someone said sticky, it was a magnet.
Oh, was it magnetic to that thing? Okay.
Yeah, it said look low. I looked at the hint again. I was like, wait, look low, I'm sticky. Immediately where it sticks, right here. Yeah. And then I remember the other one's like a sticky situation. That one was a magnet. And I was like, maybe someone used a magnet here.
Did they?
There's a magnet down there.
Cool. Oh, here.
It's a different looking one.
That's interesting.
There, you try. Oh, that's interesting. Of course, we don't have a pen.
It's probably just a
I might
log.
have one in the truck.
I don't know if I just want to take both papers out.
Yeah, just leave it.
Okay. Because I was going to say, I mean, we
Is
can...
that an old log? Yeah.
That's white.
Oh yeah, someone said that they left a new log.
Yeah, that's probably
okay,
the new
so
one. I'm
yeah,
afraid I'm
just
not
leave
going to be
it.
able to get it back in.
No, it's fine. Here,
Cool, though.
we'll just electronic signature.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's cool.
Wow. Near the highway, adjacent to the park, lies the very old hunting and trade route known as the Caddo Trace. This route ran between the Arkansas and Red River and was used mostly by the Caddo Indians. After around the year 1840, this route became a stagecoach and mail route, and later became an important highway for transporting goods to market. The marker also mentions that soldiers even marched along the trace in several wars. Today, State Highways 11 and 49 follow the same general route as the Caddo Trace. Less than 3 miles away from the park is its namesake, Daingerfield, Texas. Before heading home, we wanted to take a quick trip through that town. Being on a Sunday morning, though, it was pretty empty and there were not a lot of people out and about. Around the town, there were a number of historical markers that we wanted to check out. If you go online, you can find the GPS coordinates of each one. Then all you have to do is plug those into Google Maps and we could see each one. Daingerfield is part of Morris County, named after William W. Morris, a Texas congressman during the beginning of the Civil War. He was part of the 8th Legislature, which was responsible for arming Texas, setting up relief laws for soldiers' families, and setting up statewide defenses. Of the 254 counties in Texas, Morris County is one of 36 counties named after prominent figures of the Confederacy during the Civil War. Daingerfield held a key role for the Confederacy in Texas. It served as an enrollment center for several Army units, and local industries provided items such as cotton and leather to trade with Mexico for wagons, guns, gunpowder, shoes, and medicine. The city was founded in 1830. It is believed that Captain London Daingerfield and 100 men attacked a local Indian village, either Choctaw or Caddo, near a very old spring that predated Anglo-Saxon settlement. He and his family then settled around the spring, but were shortly killed after a retaliatory attack by the Indians. Other than this, little else is known about Captain Daingerfield, and he remains a mystery in Texas history. There are no Army records of him, and there is little information as to where his remains are located. Down the street is the Cumberland Presbyterian Church. From 1852 to 1880, local families organized and held services in Chapel Hill College, which used to be at this site. Since that time, the services were held in this building. It was also locally known as the Union Church, because Baptists also held services here. During the 1920s, the Presbyterians deactivated due to a declining population, but reorganized and held services in the church from 1950 onward. A veteran of the American Revolution once called Daingerfield home. After the War of 1812, James Thompson and his family moved to Alabama, then Mississippi, and settled in Texas. His descendants helped form the early region of East Texas. His son-in-law, who received land instead of pay for his service in the war, donated land for a church, school, and cemetery. Thompson's grandson was later appointed sheriff of the county and went on to become a Texas Ranger. Many of the Thompson family line remain in the Daingerfield Cemetery. Another early local figure was Reverend Nathan Johnson. Early in his career, around 1824, back in Tennessee, he served as a missionary to the Cherokee Indians. Later, he moved to Texas where he acted as a traveling preacher before settling down and becoming the pastor of Daingerfield Methodist Church. Well, that'll be it for this trip. If you liked this video and would like to see more like it, please check out the other videos on our channel and keep an eye out for new stuff in the future. Thanks for watching.